So I had a job recently that, in and of itself, was kind of interesting. I had a gentleman in a city over an hour away set up the job because this lady didn't have a phone or whatever, um, and he gave me a no phone no for her. So I call that number and I get another lady who says, "Yes, I live at that address, but I don't know who you are or anything about this car you're supposed to be making a key for." And I said, well, um, I mentioned who it was, and she said, yeah, okay, and I am at this address. And so I called the first guy back, and he says, yeah, that's the address, and I can confirm it. And so I call back, and I'm like, can you describe the house? And she's trying to tell me what this house looks like, but she's like, and she's describing the inside of the house, and I'm like, no, what's the outside? And she's like, I've never been out there. Like, what? And so this is somebody's elderly parent, I'm trying to do. And I'm looking, there's this kind of gravel alleyway. I'm going down it. At the end of it, there's a fence, no trespassing signs of all sorts and size and warnings on it. Some a bit more forceful than others. I'm a little nervous. And this lady comes out and she's like, what do you think you're doing here? And I tell her what I'm doing. She's like, we have nothing like that going on here. Nobody needs any keys made for their cars, and there's no car like that here. Get out of here. And so I leave, and then I call the guy that initially set up the job, and he apologized. He called the number, and he says, oh, yeah, that's her elderly mother. She's confused. And he said, but that where you were, that what you described, that is exactly where you need to be. She went to the corner store to pull out the cash to pay you. So go back. So I go back, and now there's a young boy out there who, from the previous phone call, has been told to come out and wait for me. And so he flags me on. He says, yeah, this way. She's almost back. Just park over here and wait. And the other lady comes back out, and she says, don't even talk to him. I told him to get lost. And she's yelling and getting crazy. And he's like, no, we called him here. No, he shouldn't be here. And she says that, and she says, no, he's here for us. And I'm like, am I in trouble? He's like, no, that lady doesn't even live here. I'm like, what? And yeah, she's just here visiting. And so then I get, the person shows up, and I get to working, and all of a sudden that lady comes back by my van. I'm like, oh, what now? And she comes by and she says, hey, are you the locksmith that lives in Lomarica? I go, yeah. She says, you did a job for me, and you said you'd come and finish it, and you never did. And I said, what was it for? She says, you changed out my car ignition. I'm like, oh, yeah, the one where the face of the ignition was broken. It broke when I removed it. And I said, yeah, I ordered a new ignition, and I called you, and I left you messages, but you never responded. And he says, well, I got a new phone the next day. Okay, well, you didn't call me. And I said, I even went by, but you were at somebody else's house. It wasn't your house, and they had no idea how to get a hold of you. So I don't know what you expect. If you have the car, I don't have time to add that additional appointment today, but I will set up an appointment with you to take care of it. And she's like, I sold that car a while ago, but you owe me money. And I go, what do you mean I owe you money? And she says, you never fixed it. And I said, well, I made it so that it works, and I did do everything within my power to fix it. I bought the ignition, which I have on my van, and I made efforts to contact you both by phone and driving out there when that didn't work, and neither of them was I able to do that. You, on the other hand, could find me. I'm in the phone book. I'm online. You could have looked up, gone through every locksmith until you found the one that had it. There's only 6 of us in the area, but she didn't. So then I had to, it was just kind of one of those things where, but she was bent that I owed her money for that job. And I'm like, I did the work. I spent quite a bit of time, and I spent money buying this ignition. And I'm willing to finish the job if you still had the car. But that's not my fault that you don't have the car or that you never contacted me when you changed all of your contact information. So it's just funny how people can feel entitled to that kind of stuff, even when it's on their end that it prevented that from happening. So just another day in locksmithing. Hope everybody's having a good day.